Cool. Thank you so much, Becky. And if we could, as a courtesy, just make sure as we come in, if we're not already, let's mute because it could just interfere with what we're trying to say here. We've got an hour of power. We want to make sure it's as good a quality as possible. And as we're going through this, if you have comments or questions, please just put it in the chat, and Becky will try to field those as we go through it. Hopefully, we'll have some time at the end. I am kind of known to pontificate a little bit, so we'll try to get through this as much as we can. And it's going to be great. Today we're talking about food prep strategies from our perspective, and we feel like it's really, really solid info. But as we go through this, it is a lot of information. I kind of try to err on the side of giving more too much than too little. And so just sit back, listen, absorb, take some notes, take some questions down, and you'll pull something useful out of this for sure. And we'll have ways that we can connect in the future because my goal is to help people, and that's really it. So if I can do anything to help anyone, I will, whether it's for money or not for money, or for a family member or a friend or someone that's in need of something. Like I want to empower people. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And again, let's just double check and make sure we're muted because we can hear somebody. And then if I can get a thumbs up in the chat again, or a smiley face, if you can see my screen that says food prep tips and strategies. I just want to make sure that everyone can see that. And that was right now. Cool, 12:03. All right, awesome. All right, we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get this into a play mode. Good job. All right, so we're talking about food prep. Let me just give a little background on me, just in case some people here haven't heard of me before. I don't like to talk about myself very much, but I think when I'm listening to someone talk, I do want to hear about their knowledge and experience. I want to make sure that they know what they're talking about to some degree. I'm a Army veteran. I'm a U.S. Military Academy graduate. I went through all their nutrition and health information and courses. When I got out of the military, I became a personal trainer, and I went through a lot of personal trainer certifications. I went through all their nutrition information. And ironically, the stuff that I learned when I was in college and in most of my stuff post-college was the wrong stuff. Because I was out here teaching people how to change their diet to improve their body composition and their health and their blood pressure and their glucose. Worked with a lot of pre-diabetics and diabetics. And it was the wrong information because what happened was somewhere around my mid-30s, I was diagnosed. First of all, I was 275 pounds. Right now I weigh maybe about 195. I had extremely high blood pressure. And I just, didn't feel good. I had all kinds of different symptoms and markers of disease, and it was a devastating blow to me because up to that point, I had done everything that I thought was right. I was eating every 2 or 3 hours. I was eating low fat. I was eating egg whites and chicken breast and broccoli and rice and protein shakes and powders, and I felt like I had a decent understanding of nutrition. And so I was just completely disillusioned at that point. And that's when I found ancestral health. I started being vegan for a couple of years. I saw some really good results my first 6 months, lost some weight, felt good. At the end of my 2-year stint, I had some severe digestive issues. I lost a lot of muscle mass. So I felt like the vegan way wasn't just necessarily everything to me. And then I found ancestral health. I found Weston A. Price and the paleo movement and low carb and ketogenic. And since then, I've just done a lot of experimentation. I've been certified through the Nutritional Therapy Association as an NTP or nutritional therapy practitioner, a certified healing food specialist, and I'm also GAPS certified or gut and psychology syndrome certified. And I don't even think the certifications mean anywhere near as much as the fact that I've worked with people for the past 10 years. And I've worked with everything and every symptom and every condition you can possibly imagine. 2013 is when Becky first started with me and us. She worked with me on nutrition. She worked with the gym here at CrossFit. And then since 2013, this SHT thing that is our company has just gone through so many iterations. It's constantly evolving. And if you check us out online, we have nothing but 5-star reviews everywhere. And again, not to talk about ourselves, but just to give us some credibility, okay? Our big purpose is we want to bring people together who for most of their lives have been lost and confused when it comes to health, and now they're seeking clarity and confidence. So we bring people together to learn health concepts, to put those concepts into practice through experiments, and support each other with our community. That's what's really unique about what we do. And our goal as a community is to be as healthy and happy as we can possibly be so that we can live the most amazing life possible. Because when you think about Why are we all trying to learn how to change our nutrition and how to work out and how to meditate and how to sleep better? It's because we want to be happy. That's the bottom line. We want to be happy and healthy and comfortable in our own skin. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And so that's the goal of what we do when we work with people. What's cool about our community is we have monthly themes. And so outside of this talk today, our theme this month has been natural solutions. We've been talking all about revamping your personal care products and detergents and dishwashing soaps. Next month, we're doing a progression we call flexible animal-based omnivore. The next month, we're focused on grounding and hiking and camping and being outdoors. So we always have something really interesting going on. We have weekly seminars going on that you can participate in from the public, and then we have a really cool community website, and within this community website, we're always supporting our people with daily questions and polls. So after this talk is over, I'm going to invite you to join our little community. I'm going to give you an extreme discount compared to what most people pay retail if you'd like to work with us in some way, because this is like a Facebook outside of Facebook, and it's really, really awesome. Our goal is to support people with health. So today we're talking about food prep tips and strategies. And again, if you're new joining us right now, if you could just make sure you're muted because the sound interference sometimes messes with what we're saying here. And then if you have questions or comments, just throw them in the chat. Becky is going to make sure that we address those at the end. Hopefully we'll have some good time to answer questions and stuff. And as we're going through this, it's a lot of info. Just sit back, take it all in, get the bigger perspective, and again, write down your questions and we'll try to address them later. So we're talking about food prep. The first thing that you have to do is decide on what is your way of eating. What is your food methodology? What are you going to food prep if you don't know what it is that you believe in? You know, what are your rules? What are your guidelines? What are your boundaries? And there's a lot of great methodologies out there. What I love about UHC, and I hope I'm calling it right, like UHC or United Healthcare Group or whatever, the few times that I've been able to go over there, I love their focus on health. Like they are exposing you guys to a lot of great information, and we believe in personal experimentation. So getting out there, trying new things. There's a lot of real food methodologies out there. What's great about the SHT and what we do is that we are subscribers to all these things that work. We take the principles from all of them and try to teach people what works about those different methodologies. But anyway, choose your methodology. If you don't have one, we'd love to work with you or just show you our stuff. One of the free things we'll give you is our definition of real food and how to structure your macros, and that would be a good way to start. But once you choose your methodology, we believe that one of the most important pieces of equipment that you can have in your kitchen, because if you're going to be prepping your food every day, that means 1 or 2 meals a day, or if you're doing food prep maybe 2 or 3 days a week at least, the knife is the most important piece of equipment. So I hope this is useful information. I wish I would have known it years ago before I started all this. Those complicated knife sets with 1 million different knives is stressful. All right, all you need, honestly, is a chef knife, a big chef knife, and maybe a paring knife. And honestly, I use my chef knife for 100% of everything that I cut in my kitchen. But you want something quality because you're going to be using this thing every single day. You want it to cut. There's ways to hold it, all right? And it's hard to teach over a video. But I'm going to send out some bonus videos through a couple of culinary institutes that will show you how to hold the knife, how to chop with the knife, and how to get practice with it. Now, as you're going through that process of learning, you know, it's like any other skill. When I first started working out here, everything was new to me and it was very uncomfortable. And now I love coming and working out because I understand most of what I need to do here. It's the same thing with cooking in the kitchen. If you don't have any experience, I think that's a great place to start from. Using a knife may feel weird and foreign, especially if you start to hold it the right way and chop the right way, but it's a skill. You do it 1 time, it's uncomfortable. You do it 3 times, all of a sudden it gets familiar. You start to do it every single day, you're going to fall in love with cooking. That's what's so great about it. So maybe let's turn our perception from dreading cooking and the work of it and the cleanup and all that to the perception of enjoying it and wanting to cook, because this is something that's going to be good for your body and it's something that you can be mindful about and completely present with. There's a couple of different knives we recommend people consider. German knives tend to be really thick and heavy and sturdy, which is great. Some people love that. Men tend to prefer the German, but I hope that's not too stereotypical because a lot of women do love the German too. The Henkels and the Wusthoffs are pretty well-known German, really good quality knives. And then the Japanese knives tend to be a little bit lighter, a little bit thinner. They're like little swords, and women tend to prefer this, but I actually own a global and I love it. I own the largest global knife that they have, and it's awesome. So that's the two different main choice groups that you have. Within those two groups, we've got the Wüsthof and the Henkels and the German side, and then I like global for the Japanese. And then you definitely want to have something to keep your knife sharp. So I've always wondered what the heck a honing steel does. It's that little tubular thing that you get with a lot of knife sets. This is what's going to keep your blade relatively sharp, and if you hone the blade after every use, it's going to stay razor sharp, and then true sharpening should only happen maybe every 3 to 6 months. All right, so that's the way that you can keep your knife kind of in shape and ready to use every time you use it. After I clean my knife after every use, I'm going to hone it, and that takes literally like 10 seconds, and then it's ready to go for the next use. Something else very useful to have in the kitchen is a large cutting board. So I do a lot of food prep classes here. We do actual demos, we have people prep stuff, and people will come in with their own cutting boards, and they have these little square bamboo things. They've got these little flimsy floppy boards, and it's frustrating to try to cut on those things because take a big head of cauliflower and you're trying to chop on this flimsy board that's moving all over the table. It's causing more irritation than you realize. What you want is something large and sturdy. I love this OXO carving board. It's about this big, and it has room for a whole frickin' turkey, a watermelon, squashes, heads of cauliflower, you name it. And it gives you a lot of space to work with, and it stays stable, especially if you put a wet rag under it. So I'll send out a link to this specific product. I have no vested interest in that whatsoever, but I've just learned through trial and error that it's so useful to have a really good knife and a really nice large cutting board. There's two places that you can go to look at and feel these things. So we recommend with knives that you go and hold it in person because it's going to be your little baby for years. I've had mine for 10 years now and I love it. Sur La Table down at Summerlin, the Summerlin Shopping Center. They may have another one here, but I think that's the only one. It's an expert chef-run place. You go in there and you tell them you listen to this crazy guy from SHT talk about knives. He recommended either German or Japanese. They're going to be like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. And I've been down there a bunch. And then just tell them, you're looking for a large chef knife, a really good quality, something that you can maintain and keep for years. And they will let you handle and hold different knives. And that's a great way to do it. Bed Bath & Beyond has great knives, but the people that work there aren't necessarily experts with culinary stuff, whereas Sur La Table, they are. It is kind of a high-end retail place, so you might pay a little bit more than buying something online. I'm not sure, but it's worth it to get that expert advice. And you can always get the advice and leave and buy it somewhere else. All right? So again, it is worth investing in a good quality knife and a large cutting board because you're going to use this thing ideally most days of your life, and you're going to fall in love with it. All right, I have a great video that goes into a little bit more detail on how to choose a chef knife. I will send that out as a bonus little video that you can go through at your own time. So securing your board is important, holding your knife is important, understanding how to use the knife is important. And so I will send out this link to a set of videos where a chef actually shows you how to do all this stuff on video. It's how I learned. You can practice while you're watching it, and it's pretty freaking awesome, okay? So again, questions, comments, just put them in the chat, and we will address those as soon as we get done. All right, and if we have any problems whatsoever, audio or video or something like that, Becky, just let me know, okay? Cool. So real quick, let's talk about cookware. So what comes into contact with your food is very important, all right? If we're trying to eat clean and avoid, toxins and preservatives and processed food, we also want to be aware of what the cookware does to our food. Teflon has been known to be carcinogenic and have all kinds of problems with it. Aluminum is not the best choice because with aluminum, it is actually going to leach into the food to some degree. And so we want to avoid that or minimize that to the best of our abilities. All right. And then copper, very popular now, but copper, although a beneficial nutrient in small amounts, if I'm cooking with copper cookware all the time, then if I'm not balancing copper with other nutrients, it could run into a toxicity issue. So I don't think it's the best choice. And we're not talking about copper internal pieces. Sometimes the base plate will be copper, but it's surrounded by stainless steel. That's fine. We're talking about actually copper coming into contact with your food. What we recommend is enameled cookware. So you can get enameled cast iron. You can get it through Lodge, Amazon Basics. La Cruzette's a really, really good brand. It's not reactive. It's super easy to clean up, and it's so durable. You can probably put it in your will to your kids. Also, cast iron is awesome. The only problem with cast iron is the maintenance of it. You have to make sure it stays seasoned and you clean it right. So if you're going to invest in something that looks cast iron, you might as well get something that is enameled cast iron, because you're getting the benefits of both worlds. Again, cast iron is going to be expensive, but once you invest in that, you're going to keep it for a lifetime, and you don't have to have a bunch of stuff. You only need a few different pieces. Stainless steel is really great for specific purposes, but stainless steel can be hard to clean depending on what you're cooking in it. I fell in love with this product at Sur La Table. Scan Pan is a non-stick option that's extremely durable because it is titanium and ceramic, I think, blended together. Do I have that in here? I think it's titanium and ceramic blended together, and the whole pan is this. It's not a coating. So it's extremely durable, super non-stick, and we love it. All right. So Scan Pan, enameled cast iron, and stainless steel are the way to go. And what we would recommend you doing is if you're starting from scratch, or you're overhauling your cookware, start with a large skillet that is either the enameled cast iron or a Scan Pan. That large skillet is what you're going to do most of your cooking in, your eggs, your bacon, your sausage, your vegetables, and stuff like that. You'll want a saucepan for heating up liquids like boiling water, reheating stock, cooking soups and stuff. That can be stainless steel. Baking sheets, we recommend stainless steel. I know most people probably haven't seen these, but they're awesome. You don't have to coat them with tinfoil or anything like that. And then a roasting pan would be really useful to cook like big chickens and turkeys and things like that. These are the only 4 pieces of equipment that you need in the home as far as cookware goes. And again, these big complicated sets with all these million different sizes of saucepans and stuff, to me it just feels stressful having that stuff in the house. I'm trying to minimize things. I'm a minimalist to some degree. And so I simplified things by just keeping these things in my place, all right? And we have a really good cookware video, again, where we go into more detail. I'll make sure that I send that out to you guys. I'm talking about utensils, the things that come into contact with your food. Bamboo or wood are great. Stainless steel is also awesome. And then silicone for some specific situations. What we recommend is a wooden spatula for breaking stuff up. So if I got, like, say, some ground beef in a skillet, I want something hard that's going to break it up, but I don't want to use stainless steel because stainless steel might gouge out my Scan Pan. We also want a silicone spatula for flipping omelets and flipping eggs. We want a spatula for scooping stuff out of a mixing bowl. And then it's helpful to have a stainless steel or a very tough, durable spoon and ladle for scooping stuff out of something like an Instant Pot. All right. So just some recommendations on utensils. Other kitchen gadgets we recommend people have on hand is a really good pair of shears. I've gone through a bunch of different kinds of shears. I love my OXO Good Grips multi-purpose kitchen shears because I have not had to replace them, and they're just awesome. They cut through everything. Shears are awesome. And then also probably having a large stock pot, a slow cooker, some baking sheets or glass dishes, some tin foil for easy cleanup, and then an Instant Pot has been a game changer for bone stock. I make bone stock at least once a week, and then soups and stews and cooking potatoes and rice and stuff like that. So we use the Instant Pot almost every other day to make carrots and vegetables and stuff. All right. So again, questions, comments, just throw them in the chat and we'll address them towards the end. We're just talking about like the importance of having a good knife, a good carving board, the basic cookware that you want to consider, making sure that it's not toxic. And then finally, when it comes to storage containers, what's ideal is glass or stainless steel. I don't have a problem with plastic and Ziploc bags as long as you're not heating those up in the microwave or something or putting hot stuff into them. So if you're storing stuff in plastic, as long as it's cool and cold and in the fridge, I think that's fine. Ideally, though, I probably use mason jars for just about everything that I do in my fridge, or maybe some of those glass lock or lock containers. All right. A lot of people will ask us at this point, what about microwaves? Are you okay with that? We're all about making this work in a modern lifestyle. And so to do that, we allow some conveniences. And some people would say the microwave isn't as safe or beneficial or healthy as not using it. But we'd say, well, if the microwave is going to allow you to heat your food, and that's the thing that's going to keep you eating real food, versus if you don't have a microwave and you can't eat your food and you have to eat it cold, that you're not going to eat real food and you're going to throw your hands up and do something else, then we'd say definitely use the microwave. I've done the research on it. I see no problem in using the microwave to reheat food and liquids. In fact, we use it all the time. All right. Now, let's get to what we actually came here to talk about today, which is actual food prep. Okay, so we've talked up to this point. I feel like it's useful to understand the importance of a good knife, the importance of a good carving board, the importance of good, clean, quality cookware. And now let's talk about how to actually prep your food. So to prep your food, we recommend first, one option is to batch cook. You can batch cook, on a Sunday afternoon, grab a glass of wine, hang out with the family, play some music, watch a movie or something. You can cook a bunch of chicken on a tray and then store that in the fridge or freezer. You can cook a bunch of sausage. I love using the oven to batch cook stuff, so you can batch cook a bunch of sausage. You can batch cook, bacon wrapped chicken is one of our favorite dishes. You can batch cook vegetables. And again, you're putting this in the fridge or freezing it. You can batch cook your starches. So batch cooking can be extremely useful to get a lot of stuff done at once. An SHT staple is oven-baked bacon. Now, without knowing anything about our methodology, we are real foodies and we embrace animal meats and fats. In fact, we think they're crucial for health. And we love bacon. If you went and did a surprise fridge inspection on 90% of our people in our community, I guarantee you they have Ziploc bags of bacon in their fridge, because bacon, it's meat, it has healthy fats, and in fact the fat in bacon is mainly monounsaturated, and it tastes amazing. It's the perfect beef jerky. It's the perfect snack to have on hand, and everybody loves it. So I think bacon is a really, really great option to have around. You can't get tired of bacon. Another staple, we will share this recipe with you, is what we call the Bobar salad. So Bobar stands for Botanical Beyond All Recognition. We came up with this salad because it's super hearty and it's very versatile. You can make a bunch of it on Sunday, pull from it throughout the week. You can cook it in butter, cook it with some hot sauce. You can mix it with meat. It's just you can eat it raw like a salad with some salad dressing. It's awesome. And then also something else, again, thinking about batch cooking stuff, is egg casserole. Egg casserole, I'm telling you right now, if you don't do it right now, it's the easiest, simplest thing. It's super nutrient dense, and it's something that will last you all week. So on a Sunday, you get a couple of glass dishes, you do 2 to 3 dozen eggs. I like to do egg yolks, but you can do 2 to 3 dozen eggs. I have a great recipe that I'm going to share with you guys. You mix in some cheese, you mix in some cooked meat, some cooked sausage, you blend all that up, you can put some chilies and stuff in it, put it in these greased glass baking dishes, and then bake it until it gets done, and then you can cut it up into squares, and then for the rest of the week you have a great breakfast. You can use it for snack, you can use it for dinner. I mean, a lot of evenings we'll have egg casserole or yolk roll for dinner, and we absolutely love it. Like, it's a foundational staple. In fact, we have egg casserole no matter what the dinner is every night. We have egg casserole with our dinner every night. So, and then for dessert, one of the healthiest desserts that we've ever created is the sister of the Bobar salad. That's called the Frubar salad. All right, Frubar is basically you're mixing a bunch of berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. You're squeezing lemon and lime, drizzling it with honey, maybe a little bit of MCT oil. You stir all that up, and then you pack it into mason jars. And then for a dessert every night, you take about a half a cup to a cup of this Frubar, put it into a bowl, and boom, you've got a great healthy dessert that you will not want anything else for. You could put some heavy whipping cream or something like that, coconut milk in it, and it would make it taste amazing. So another really, really great staple that we usually make in big quantities. All right. So we talked about batch cooking, so cooking a bunch of stuff on Sunday or something, or batch cooking some different options here. This is one method that we teach for food prep in our classes, and it's the method of shopping one day, prepping the next day, and then as you're using these foods throughout the week, you add variety to it. So let me see if I can explain this, and if it doesn't make sense, let me know. So day one, which for most people that work during the week, that would be a Saturday. Saturday is your planning for food prep, all right? So you're purchasing your ingredients for the food prep, all right? So you're going out, you're getting the ingredients for whatever it is that you think that you want for the week, all right? You're getting your salad ingredients, maybe your Bobar salad, you're getting a couple different meats, you're getting your starches, you're getting your eggs, your bacon, your greens, what you think you're going to do for dessert, and you're just shopping. I think a lot of people get really frustrated with food prep because it takes so much time when they try to go out and shop and come back and prep and do all that in one day, by the end of that process, you're so exhausted, you're just like, man, forget this. I'm just going to freaking do something really more convenient, right? So you plan, you go out, you shop, you throw it in the fridge, and then you enjoy your rest of your day. Then you come back in on Sunday or whatever your second day is. This is the day that you actually make everything. And again, grab a glass of wine, you're watching TV or a movie with the family, you got some music playing, and you're sitting there and you prep all your stuff, all right? Now that you have all this food prepped for the week, throughout the week, we call it this implement checklist, all right? So as I'm pulling out meats to use, I can reheat it in the microwave or the skillet. We reheat food every night. So I don't know, some people, for whatever reason, they have a problem eating leftovers. Like, leftovers are amazing. To me, it tastes better the second time or the third time, right? So you take out your meat, and then as you're taking out your meat, you can spice it up however you want. Maybe you have like an Italian night and you got some ground beef pre-cooked. All you got to do is add some marinara sauce to it or something. And maybe add some herbs and stuff that make it feel Italian. As you're pulling out your meat and reheating it in the skillet, you can add some cheeses, you can add some sauces. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can add some bobar to it. So add to your meats, you have your basic foundational meats that you've cooked. As you reheat them, think about how you can dress it up to give it just a little bit of variety. Same thing with your safe starches. If you batch cook a bunch of potatoes or a bunch of rice on the weekend and you're going to pull from that throughout the week, add different things to it to make it a little bit different. So for sweet potatoes, you can one night do like baked sweet potatoes where you reheat it in a skillet with some butter and salt. I actually like to reheat baked potatoes, mash them up in a skillet with some butter and some salt and some hot sauce, and it's freaking amazing. But you can also do a night where you do, either sweet or regular potatoes with sour cream and chives and kind of make it like a true little baked potato. You can actually add some meats and some salads and things to it. Or you can serve your meats with some tortillas or some other approved starches that have the right ingredients. So again, the goal here is to take the stuff that you prepped in simplicity over the weekend and then adding variety to it throughout the week. As you pull it from the fridge, just think about how you want to season it up and spice it up. And then again, the bobar salad is super versatile. You can eat it raw with some salad dressing. You can cook it in a skillet with some butter, some bacon grease, some hot sauce. You can combine it with any variety of meats and just make it a complete dish. I have this recipe that I call the skillet dish. And if I come home and I don't have anything else prepped and I just forget to have stuff ready, all I have to do is take a big skillet, butter, throw in some greens, a chopped up cauliflower or some bobar salad, sprinkle some ground beef or some sausage or chicken in there, put a lid on it, and in 15 or 20 minutes I have a complete meal that tastes absolutely amazing. I could serve it at a restaurant and charge $50 for it. Like, it tastes so great because it's real food and it uses healthy fats and some good seasonings, With most evenings, this is no prep required. You can have those boxes of pre-washed salads, take a handful, put it in a bowl, use some approved salad dressings. There's your greens for the night. And then fruit bar again, you can just use fruit bar by itself. You can whip up some heavy cream or some canned coconut milk and put some dark chocolate chips in with it, and it is the perfect healthy dessert. Like, it's really, really awesome. All right. Now, this is the method that we've gravitated towards here recently. Actually, this has been like the past year in the making. So what I just went over is the food prep method, which is you go out, you shop one day, chill out. The next day you prep everything, and then throughout the week you're pulling from the stuff that you've prepped over the weekend and you're adding some variety to it. The leftover method is what we do now, and I love it. Like, I never spend a lot of time prepping food in the kitchen anymore. The leftover method, basically, over the weekend, you think about what you want to eat during the week, and you're planning a meal for every other night, okay? And I say night because our breakfasts are the same every day. We usually eat eggs and bacon, eggs and sausage, or we fast, So it's not like we really need to prep for that easy, simple first meal. What we're prepping for is the evening meal when we come home. And so in our minds, we have a Sunday evening meal, a Tuesday evening meal, a Thursday evening meal, and then the second day after each one of those evenings, we do leftovers. So every time we cook that evening meal, we do double or triple so that we always have leftovers. So last night was Taco Tuesday. We did tacos using some approved taco shells, some siete shells. We made plenty so that we can have some tonight. And tonight we're coming home. We've already got leftover cooked meat. We've already got leftover taco shells and guacamole and sour cream and stuff. And so tonight we're having a second night of tacos, and it doesn't require any extra food prep because we cooked extra the night before. And then Thursday night we're going to do pork belly, probably with some vegetables, some carrots or something like that. Friday will be our smorgasbord evening, which means that all the leftovers that we've compiled from Sunday through Thursday, we're going to have like this little variety plate. And so we love Fridays because we have an evening of a little bit of taco meat, a little bit of pork belly, a little bit of usually some pork roast or something, and then we've got some vegetables and greens thrown in there. And so it's just, it sounds to some people kind of crazy, but it is like going to a restaurant and having all these little tapas or appetizers or something, and it's just, it's awesome. We absolutely love it. So again, you have a plan for the week. You have every other day, you have an evening meal that you're focusing on. You shop for that plan. You have all that stuff in the fridge. You come home, you cook on the cooking days, but you cook more than enough for one night, enough for 2 or 3 nights. The next night is a leftover night, and then the next night you cook another night, and it's super simple and quick and fast and easy. But what we love about this is it's getting you used to being in the kitchen. You're spending time with the people you care about cooking, and it's fun and keeps variety up and all that kind of stuff. And your food is relatively fresh. You know, we absolutely love it. So just to reiterate that method, it's our favorite right now. You plan your first meal of the day for every day of the week. All of us are here probably working Monday through Friday, and we all know what is a really easy go-to for that first meal of the day. If you need some ideas, I'm telling you right now that egg casserole is the way to go. You get 3 big chunks of that for your morning breakfast, and you're satiated for the rest of the day. Most of our people actually skip breakfast and fast until lunch, and so lunch would be when they have that egg casserole and they'll heat it up in the microwave at work. All right, so you figure out what that staple is for the first meal of the day. Maybe brainstorm the cuisines that you like. Italian, Mexican, taco night, pizza night, seafood night, whatever those favorite things are that you have, or we have a little worksheet that you can throw in your own ideas. That would be a good idea to base those evening cookings off of. All right? Then also think about, what are you going to do for dessert most nights? You definitely don't want to run into a pinch and run out and get pink box donuts, right? So maybe plan ahead of time. On Sunday, you're making a bunch of fruit bar salad, or maybe you just got some fresh fruit that you're keeping on the counter. Maybe some dark chocolate with honey. That's one of our favorites. So just make sure that you pre-plan your desserts so you're not in a situation where you want to go out and eat some junk. Batch prepare your basics on Sunday. This is where we will do a little bit of what we call food prep, but we'll just make some egg yolk roll or some egg casserole, some oven baked bacon, usually Bo Bar and Fruit Bar, and that's really easy to do. We'll make that on Sunday, and then we'll have those evening meals every other night of the week for the food prep. And then in this worksheet that I'll send out to y'all, I just give you some examples here, right? So you're planning for the week, you have your cooking days, you have your leftover days, and at the end of the week you have a leftover night that's a smorgasbord night that you just use leftovers from the whole entire week, and we think it's awesome. That will give you one day, like a Saturday, that you can actually freestyle it or go out and eat somewhere at a restaurant or something like that, right? That's, again, our favorite little method. Before we open it up to questions, comments, anything else, if you have your phones on you, I have the ability for you to download our food prep handouts. We have our recipes. We have links to everything that we've talked about here. If there's anything that I forgot to put in that little download, I'll send it out as an additional email. So if you use this QR code, it'll prompt you to enter your name and email. This will subscribe you to our newsletter, which is awesome. We're here and local. You get nothing but empowering information. The only things we ever sell are things that are like our seminars and workshops, and those are completely voluntary, or our community. So if you want to take a moment and do the little QR code with your camera, that would be awesome. We'll get you those handouts and the additional information. You can also just feel free to email me, text me, call me, and ask any questions that you got. Our community website that we talked about before is, you can take a picture of this or you can write it down. It's community.superhumantransformation.com. When you go there, there's a really awesome welcome video that tells you all about our little online community. UHC members are going to get a discount if you want to join our community. So retail is $59.99 a month, which is well worth it because all of our courses and curriculum and seminars and workshops are in there online. Plus we have our own little Facebook type community in there. UHC members will get this for $29.99 a month if it interests you. All right, so this is not like I'm putting it out there. If it resonates with you, great, we'd love to have you. And if not, no big deal. So we will send out a secret link that gives you access to that at a discount. All right. And then, of course, you can always subscribe to our newsletter at our main website, superhumantransformation.com. But if you do that QR code, you're going to subscribe because it has a double opt-in thing. So, yes. Okay. So, excellent question. And that was from Stacy. All right, cool. So what does it mean when we say approved? So approved to us, we say SHT approved. That means approved is a toxicity guideline, okay? If something is not approved, that means it is something that we won't consume because it doesn't have good ingredients. So I hope most of us understand and know that hydrogenated oils like margarine and Crisco are extremely toxic, right? So those, if something had a margarine in it, it would be not approved. So approved is our guideline. If we say something is approved, that means it is acceptable to consume. It does not have any toxic ingredients whatsoever. So a big part of what we're trying to do with people is transition them from eating the wrong things made with the wrong ingredients and a lot of preservatives and chemicals over to the same things but made with the right ingredients. So if I eat a taco from Taco Bell, guaranteed that taco is extremely low quality, it has horrible ingredients, it's fried in soybean oil, but we have tacos made with reputable companies that are made with wholesome ingredients. So for just about everything we can imagine that we want, ice creams, chips, cookies, crackers, pizzas, I mean, you name it, there's approved versions that are made with the right ingredients. And we teach a lot of this when we go through our classes. You get the gist of it when you go through a lot of our seminars and workshops and even YouTube videos. But if you have any specific questions or need recommendations, just let me know and we can send it to you. So really, really great question. I think a big thing to understand with that is that one of our goals to be healthier is to choose things made with healthy ingredients, right? It's like, it's just understanding that I don't have to give up everything. I just have to understand that there's ingredients that I want to give up because they're so toxic to the human body, but that doesn't mean that I can't make a version that's a little bit more wholesome or healthier. Do you recommend only one way of eating? Paleo, keto, etc. Okay, so anything that gets you in the direction of eating real food, I think is a good thing. Okay, so whatever that is for you. I get a lot of people that come in here and they're keto or they're paleo or they're vegan or low carb or something, and if that methodology is the thing that got you to eat real food, I think that's a huge win no matter what, right? So the first step is learning how to eat real food in a way that resonates with you, which, within the real food realm, all these little methodologies, vegan, carnivore, paleo, keto, like they're all kind of debating about certain little nuances, but we can all agree that anything in that real food realm, no matter what it is going to be better than processed food, pancakes, waffles, bagels, and croissants and stuff like that, all right? So just moving in the direction of real food is going to be great. But what I love about our methodology, SHT, is we are experts at paleo. We're experts at keto. We're experts at vegan. We teach this stuff all year long. And so we'd recommend joining our methodology because we help you understand why those methodologies are useful and what works about them. And we also help you experiment with those different methodologies. That's kind of what we do. So, but to answer the question, like any of them would be fine. I think paleo is a little bit more forgiving than keto if you're really doing strict keto. But anything in the real food methodology realm is going to be great. But SHT, the reason we put it together is because it is a livable way of doing things for a lifetime for sure. Real food is the answer for sure. Keep it real, get to bed on time, wake up early, work out most days, try to have some kind of a meditation and mindfulness practice in place, and you do all those things and you're going to be on a different level. It is the way to do things for sure.